Hi, my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to answer another common question, which is also, can you use your salicylic acid and vitamin C serum together? Now, generally speaking, you can use them together, but the pH and strength of both formulations play a big role. And this is also because vitamin C, ascorbic acid, is also most effective when the skin's pH is around 2 or 2.5. So when using a salicylic acid cleanser or leave-on exfoliant, at first this can help you to lower the pH of your skin, and then also when using your ascorbic acid serum afterwards, this also can help you that you will also get most out of your vitamin C serum. And this is also an excellent combination, but depending also on what two products you have at home, you either can also use them daily because the combination is very gentle, or it also may be quite strong, and therefore you also have to be a bit more cautious and may not want to use it daily because otherwise it also can lead to skin irritation. And so this is also what I have prepared for you. I have prepared different PowerPoint slides for you with also example skincare routines, which I also have put in categories so that you also have a better understanding of the different combinations, how gentle or how intense they are. And based on that, when also looking at the products that you have at home, you also have a general idea of if you can use it daily, if it is gentle enough, if you have to be a bit more cautious, etc. Now, if you also would like to follow the PowerPoint slides, you can also download them in the description box down below and also maybe use it as a guide if they're also helpful, which I also do hope that it also will make at the end of the video a lot more sense. Now, I do also want to quickly emphasize for whom this combination is also suitable. Well, salicylic acid, also known as BHA, can also come in a cleanser, also for example leave-on solution. And salicylic acid is great if you have oily skin. It can help you to regulate the oiliness, but it's also great if you have like blemishes to mild acne-prone skin, because it can also help you to shed off the dense skin cells from the skin surface to smoothen your skin texture, as well as also unclog the pores to also reduce your blemishes or mild acne-prone skin over time. And then you have also, on the other hand, your vitamin C, which is a great antioxidant. It is a great anti-aging ingredient to reduce look of fine lines and wrinkles, as well as is also a great lightening ingredient to also fade like discoloration over time, which also may have on the skin surface. This can be due to your blemishes, also maybe because you have like light dark spots on the skin surface due to the sun. Then this is also how it can help you to even out your skin tone a bit more. So if those are your concerns, this is also an excellent combination. Now I want to get started with also the PowerPoint slides and also focusing on the salicylic acid cleansers, then solutions and vitamin C serums before we are getting into the example skincare routines. So that you also will understand why I have chosen certain products the way I did. And also do want to quickly emphasize, I did also try all those products myself. Now, first of all, we also are going to look at salicylic acid, also known as BHA cleansers. You have gentle cleansers that contain around 0.5% of salicylic acid, sometimes more, sometimes less. And you have, for example, the CeraVe Assay Smoothing Cleanser, also Renewing Cleanser, also Cosrx salicylic acid, or also the one from Vichy. Those are gentle salicylic acid cleansers because they only have like a mid-strength of it. Let's say it like this. Then you also have the salicylic acid cleansers that contain 2% of salicylic acid in it, such as also the Inkey's List, La Roche-Posay, also Neutrogena. And those cleansers usually have a pH at around 5. Bit more, bit less, this can change depending on the cleanser you have at home. And then also on the other hand, you have low pH cleansers that usually also contain a mix of AHA, glycolic or lactic acid, as well as also salicylic acid in it, such as also, for example, from Face Theory. And those also have a pH of 3.5. Now, only by looking at this, you also would say that the low pH cleansers would also be the most effective when also combining it with your vitamin C. Yes, they would, but they also have a downside because they are going to lower the pH of your skin so drastically. You also have to be a bit more careful, otherwise it also can burn your skin. And this is also what's important to remember, depending also on the cleanser that you have at home. Some are gentler, other ones also stronger, and therefore you also need to understand this so that based on that you can also set up your skincare routine on how often you're going to use this combination. And then you also have the salicylic acid BHA 2% leave-on exfoliating acid solution. Now I have a few examples right here, such as Paula's Choice, The Ordinary, Face Theory, or also Revolution. Those also contain all 2% of salicylic acid in it. And they also have a pH at around 3.5. Now, when also looking at your vitamin C ascorbic acid serums, then they also have different strength of it. And this is also what matters depending also on what salicylic acid product that you also have at home. Now, on the top, you can also see examples that have less than 15% of ascorbic acid in it, such as Revolution, D'Eclairs, also La Roche-Posay. And then you also have the vitamin serums with 15% of ascorbic acid. And this also would be, for example, Paula's Choice, Vichy, or also SkinCeuticals. Now keep in mind that formulation with 15% or higher ascorbic acid, like vitamin C in it, may sting when also used on sensitive or inflamed skin because of the low pH. So this is also important to remember, that if you are being, for example, new to a vitamin C serum, you may not want to get started with the highest strength. You may want to get started with a lower strength, because depending also on your skin, vitamin C already on its own, if you're doesn't matter if you're using a salicylic acid cleanser or leave-on exfoliating solution beforehand, can already sting on the skin, depending also on what your skin can tolerate. Now, when also looking at the first example skincare routine, when also choosing, for example, a gentle salicylic acid cleanser, as well as also an ascorbic acid serum that contains less than 15% of it. And so you're going to get started with also your salicylic acid cleanser, your gentle one, wash your face with it, rinse it off, pat the skin dry, then move on to your vitamin C serum, the gentle version of it. Use 2 to 3 drops of it, 1 or 2 drops more, apply it evenly over your face and neck, and leave it on the skin. Once it also has absorbed into the skin, which can also take about 30 seconds to a minute, then you now can also go ahead and move on to your moisturizer. If you feel the need that you also need a moisturizer, use about a pea-sized amount of it, apply it evenly over your face. And this could be, for example, a great evening routine, or also if you're doing this in the morning, or if you have a different morning routine, still don't forget to also, as a last step of your morning skincare routine, always use a good sunscreen to protect the skin. When using your sunscreen, use about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon for your entire face and neck to also protect this area when also being exposed to the sun. And also please don't forget to also reapply it during the day when also being exposed to the sun for several hours, so that you also will make sure that you have the full protection. So your sunscreen is only necessary during daytime when being exposed to the sun. In the evening, there's no sunscreen needed. Now, this could be, for example, a gentle skincare routine when combining your gentle salicylic acid cleanser as well as gentle vitamin C serum in the same routine. And you can do this daily or maybe every other day, depends also on how your skin is going to respond to this combination, and also what else you're going to use other than your vitamin C and salicylic acid product during the week. Then also have another skincare routine, like example skincare routine, which is pretty much the same. The main difference is that you're going to also replace your gentle vitamin C serum with also a higher strength of your vitamin C serum. But again, you're going to wash your face with a gentle cleanser, apply your higher strength of vitamin C serum to your face, use a moisturizer if you feel the need, and your sunscreen during daytime. Now, what's really important to emphasize is also that if you have oily skin, then using a moisturizer is not necessary. This depends on how your skin is going to respond to also your salicylic acid product that you're using beforehand. If you may come across dryness, you can add a moisturizer to this routine and then use about a pea-sized amount. Or you may also want to reduce the frequency of your salicylic acid cleanser. You may want to use it every other day instead of daily, and also switch it or basically alternate between a gentle cleanser in between, so that you also find the right balance for your skin needs, because the cleanser shouldn't dry out your skin, nor should it irritate your skin. So please also always adjust it to how your skin is going to respond to it when doing this combination. Then another combination would also be an example routine, which again you can do daily depending on how your skin is going to respond to it, or you may want to use it alternate days, because we're going to switch the cleanser to also a 2% salicylic acid cleanser and also a gentler vitamin C serum. This is also a great combination. The steps and how you're going to use them are going to be the same. Wash your face, apply the serum, your moisturizer if needed, sunscreen during daytime. And the other combination would also be using your 2% salicylic acid cleanser and your higher strength vitamin C afterwards. This can also work really well. Use a moisturizer, sunscreen if needed, and also when being exposed to the sun. Then what's really important is also that if you're going to use a low pH cleanser that drastically can lower the pH of your skin, and also a vitamin C serum with less than 15% of ascorbic acid in it. This is a combination where I recommend being cautious. Now again, I do also want to quickly emphasize, the cleansers that I have picked right here have a pH of 3.5, meaning it can drastically also lower the pH of your skin. Meaning that it can be very effective when also using your vitamin C afterwards, but you may not want to do this combination every day. You may want to just do this combination 2 to 3 times per week, depending also on how your skin is able to tolerate this combination. Because if you're going to do this combination too often and your skin cannot tolerate it, you can feel that it starts to sting and burn on the skin. And this is also a sign that it's going to be too much for your skin. Even though your vitamin C ascorbic acid serum has also a great, basically can give you most out of it, if it also is in a low pH environment of 2 or 2.5. It's going to be really difficult to achieve such a low pH without stinging or burning on the skin. So therefore, when doing this combination, be cautious. And it also includes the cleansers that I have picked right here. They include a mixture of AHA and BHA. So they have glycolic acid in it, lactic acid in it, as well as salicylic acid in it. They have a pretty low pH. Plus, because they're also including AHA, like glycolic and lactic acid, I think that this is also a main reason to be even more cautious, because when looking at glycolic acid and lactic acid, they can increase the hydration within the skin. And I think that this may also be an issue, and this is also why you may not do this very often, because if it increases the hydration within the skin, this also means that when applying your vitamin C serum afterwards, it can basically absorb into the skin even faster, and therefore is more likely to cause irritation. Whereas if you also would have a BHA low pH cleanser that also would have the same pH as the ones that I'm currently sharing with you, then this may not be the case, because it does not increase the hydration within the skin. So it is going to penetrate better into the skin, but maybe also a bit slower, and therefore may also be better to tolerate. So I couldn't find really affordable salicylic acid low pH cleansers in the same range as the ones from Face Theory. That's why I have picked the one from Face Theory, to have kind of an idea that you understand what's going on when doing this combination. But also please keep in mind they also include AHA in it, which again may be the reason why it also is going to lead to the irritation a bit faster. So I have tried this combination. It works amazingly. It also works really well. However, I did experience that it starts to sting and burn after some time. So therefore, I do not recommend doing this daily if you can already feel that it starts to irritate on the skin. So then reduce the frequency of it. But this combination works brilliantly. And again, you also would use this cleanser, wash your face with it. In this specific case, you would leave it on for a minute, then rinse it off with water. Then also move on to your low strength of ascorbic acid serum, apply it to your face. Move on to your moisturizer if you feel the need, and use sunscreen during the day to protect the skin. Again, the same also would be with your vitamin C serum that also includes 15% of ascorbic acid. Again, this is also where you can get more irritation, or you will also experience irritation a bit faster, because we are dealing with a higher percentage of ascorbic acid, which the higher you're going up with the percentage, the more likely you also will experience the stinging or burning on the skin. So please keep in mind that when doing this combination, you may want to try it out once once to see how it also will feel on the skin, then give it a few days in between before doing this again, so that you have an idea of how your skin is going to respond to it when also doing this specific skincare routine. But it can be yet very effective. Now, one other topic that I haven't also talked about is also how would the skincare routine look like when also using a leave-on salicylic acid exfoliating solution. So again, as the name it already says, this is a solution that you're also going to leave on the skin, so when using it, there's no need to rinse it off. And this is also where the routine can change a bit, because instead of using a salicylic acid cleanser, we are going to use a gentle cleanser, but we are going to include your salicylic acid solution in that specific routine. Now here you can also see an example. This can be a daily routine, depending on how your skin is going to respond to it. It should work well. However, if you may come across irritation again, reduce the frequency of it and adjust it to what your skin can tolerate. This also is a routine. By using a gentle cleanser, choose your favorite gentle cleanser that does not include any like AHA or BHA in it, such as Cetaphil or CeraVe, just as an example. Wash your face with it, pat the skin dry, then move on to your BHA or salicylic acid leave-on solution, such as Paula's Choice, Face Theory or Revolution. If you're using one like the Paula's Choice one, you have to apply it either with a cotton pad or with the palm of your hand. Use about a coin size amount to be able that you can also gently swipe it all over your face and neck. Same also would be with the Face Theory and the one from Revolution. Those are a bit more like a serum salicylic acid solution, which also have a pipette. So again, use 2 to 3 drops of it, maybe 1 or 2 drops more, and apply it evenly over your face. And you're going to leave it on the skin. Make sure that your skin is able to absorb the product, that you haven't used too much. You can also give it 30 seconds to a minute in between. And again, the BHA exfoliant, like the solution that you're going to leave on the skin, that's the one that can help you to lower the pH a bit. And then you're going to use your Vitamin C Serum immediately afterwards, so that you also will get most out of your vitamin C. And again, in this specific case, we are going to get started with the lower ascorbic acid formulations. Again, use 2 to 3 drops of it, apply it to your face, give it a moment so that your skin also can absorb it, and then move on to your moisturizer if needed, and also your sunscreen during daytime. Now another combination also would be if you're going to switch it to higher percentages of ascorbic acid. Again, keep in mind the chances are a bit higher that it also can irritate on the skin. So if you also are trying to do this daily and you can come across after the 4th or 5th day of using this combination that it can irritate on the skin a bit, that you feel the stinging or slightly burning on the skin, please give it a moment. Do not use it the following day, because then it also means that your skin has basically enough of it, and you may also want to reduce the frequency of it, so that again you can also adjust it to what your skin also feels comfortable with. Again, just because you're not going to do this daily doesn't mean that it's not going to be effective. What's important is that you also find a consistency that works well for your skin, does not irritate or burn on your skin. And when also being consistent with it, it still can also give you the benefits of it. It just depends on how often you can basically do this combination, and this can change from person to person. So therefore, start off slowly, and based on that, always adjust it. If you can use it daily, great for you. If you want to reduce the frequency of it, then that's fine too, and is just as effective. You just need to be consistent with it. Now, I do also want to quickly emphasize that when also looking at your salicylic acid cleanser, also salicylic acid solution, or for example the low pH cleansers from Face Theories, and your vitamin C, just because some of the cleansers or leave-on exfoliating acid solutions may not be able to bring down the level of your skin's pH to what your vitamin C serum really likes, doesn't mean that it's not going to be effective. It may not be as effective, but you still are using your vitamin C. It's still able to absorb into the skin and also can give you the benefits. So just because, let's say you're using a gentle salicylic acid cleanser and your vitamin C, just because that's a very gentle combination that most of us can also tolerate daily, again, adjust it to what your skin really can tolerate, but you can basically use this combination daily. This doesn't mean that your vitamin C isn't going to work. This just means that it may not give you all the benefits that vitamin C can offer. Because ascorbic acid pH needs to be 2 or 2.5 to also will give you all, like everything out of it that it also possibly can. So please keep in mind that I know that this may sound very confusing, but just because you're doing a gentler combination than someone else doesn't mean that your combination isn't working. It just may not be as effective. That's all what I'm saying. And so this is also what I mainly also want to focus on when also looking at your salicylic acid cleansers or leave-on exfoliating acid solutions which you're going to leave on the skin, as well as also your vitamin C ascorbic acid serum. Keep in mind, if you have your salicylic acid cleanser at home and you may also have a salicylic acid solution at home, only use one of them in your skincare routine. Otherwise, if you're going to use a salicylic acid cleanser plus leave-on solution, this can already cause irritation and dryness because you're going to exfoliate the skin too often, especially also when doing this more often during the week. So only stick to one salicylic acid product and then follow with your vitamin C serum afterwards. Now, I do also want to quickly emphasize one part that I haven't talked about, and this is also the vitamin C derivatives. There are also vitamin C derivatives on the market. So usually if you have vitamin C at home, what you can do is, if it doesn't mention it on the packaging right away, look at the ingredients list. If it says ascorbic acid, that's the pure form of vitamin C. However, sometimes you also can have vitamin C serums, such as the one from The Ordinary or Face Theory. You have the ascorbic glucoside solution, which is, for example, a vitamin C derivative, or the ascorbic tetraisopalmitate is also a vitamin C derivative, or also, for example, from Face Theory or The Ordinary, the ethylated ascorbic acid solutions. Those are all vitamin C derivatives. Usually there is nothing to worry about. They are usually well tolerated because the pH in that specific case doesn't really play a big role. However, I do want to quickly emphasize one more thing. If you have a vitamin C product at home that also contains ethylated ascorbic acid in it, this is very close to ascorbic acid itself. I recommend also being cautious about it, because you can find solutions that also have 15% or also even 20% or higher in it, where you may also come across an irritation factor. So I recommend being cautious with it. Try the ethylated ascorbic acid solution at first on its own. See how it feels on the skin before combining it with also your salicylic acid solution. Because you also have, for example, the ethylated ascorbic acid solution that also contains 15% of it, which you can say they are not the same, but they are very similar to Paula's Choice 15% ascorbic acid booster. So therefore, already when using such a solution, you also have to be careful. The likelihood of getting an irritation is already higher. So basically the same steps I also would recommend when also having an ethylated ascorbic acid solution at home, just so that you're making sure that it also will work well for what your skin can also handle. So again, if you aren't sure how you're going to respond to your salicylic acid product or vitamin C product at all, because you're new to them, use them separate for some time so that you can see how your skin is going to respond to it. Also do a patch test if you like to, because this can already help you to identify how your skin is going to react to it. I have videos, like an entire playlist of it in the top right corner for you, so that you're getting most out of it. And then once you're comfortable when also using them individually, then you can also use them together, and then they also can work brilliantly together as well. Now again, I do also want to quickly emphasize that when also doing this combination, doesn't matter if you're doing this combination in the morning or evening, or also without this combination, what's important is your sunscreen during the day. When being exposed to the sun, please always make sure to protect your skin with a good sunscreen, not only your face and neck, but also the rest of your body. If you're also not really leaving the house completely, only for grocery shopping or going to work and coming back, an SPF of 15 or higher is enough. However, when also doing outdoor activities, you're being also exposed to the sun for several hours, please don't forget to also use an SPF of 30 or greater, and don't forget to reapply it every 2 hours to also make sure that you're getting the full protection also after swimming or sweating. Now this is also what I wanted to share with you. I do hope that this also makes somehow sense when also looking now at your products that you also have at home. Again, you can download the PowerPoint slides in the description box down below and also maybe use it as a guide. If you enjoyed this video, if you find it helpful, please also don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye!